I'm Paul Elliott here with Hashrocket TV, and I'm sitting with Bryan Liles, who is a longtime advocate of testing, of personal improvement. You've got some interesting thoughts on how to improve yourself within the Rails community. Can you share some of that with us?
Okay, so most people know me as a huge testing like zealot kind of guy, and I really think, like looking back, that's not really what it is. What it is it's more of a continuous self-improvement thing. And I found that one way that you would make sure that you weren't writing bad code all the time was to test it all the time.
Yeah.
So I was very big on that 3 years ago. I did that talk and use the F word all the time because I was trying to get the point across that testing is one thing you can do to improve your code all the time. You can make sure that your code bases actually get better over time through testing. But that's not the end all be all. And the reason that we want to test is because we want to make our code better, which will ultimately make us better.
Sure.
But the bigger thing is I'm really big on self-improvement and actually being happy in what you do. And so a lot of things that I do, so all the sharing that I've done on Twitter and my blog, Smarticus, that is only me just trying to share all the mistakes that I've made. And then, you can learn through the mistakes that I've made rather than making those mistakes again.
Sure. One of the things I love about the Rails community is that focus on sharing and openness and just developer happiness.
Yeah, I think that's something that we overlook. I'm a very big person on thinking that most of the time we work for corporations that their purpose is to make money. Their purpose is not to make you happy. So, in your constant self-improvement, one thing you need to think about is, am I happy in what I'm doing? And a lot of us are. I mean, a lot of us are very good at finding jobs that fit our lifestyles. So I think Hashrocket's been very good. It's like more of a lifestyle company rather than just a real,
sure
you're definitely in it for the money. We all are.
Yeah,
but you're definitely
in.
Everybody has bills to pay, but beyond those bills, I have that certain amount where my bills stop, and then everything else is nice. But if I'm not any happier, well.
Sure. So what are you doing these days to keep yourself happy?
What am I doing these days? Well, I had been doing a lot of talking, and I've actually submitted a whole bunch of talks on developer happiness and developer improvement, and sometimes people think those talks are a little fluffy at conferences, and so they don't get picked up as much. But Madison Ruby actually, and Jim, who used to work with you guys, picked that up, and I am doing a talk on happiness and actually trying to turn my career around to focus more on developer improvement. I'm not saying I'm a teacher, but more of a guide. Because I'll tell you what, I've made every mistake you can make in development. And I would love if I could save just one person from making those same mistakes.
Sure. Well, we learn a lot from mistakes, and that really helps us improve too. But yeah, learning from other mistakes, very important. And that's one of the things that makes Hashrocket a wonderful place to work, I think, is we learn from each other's mistakes all the time.
So one of the things, and we were discussing this earlier off camera, was so in the past I've made a lot of screencasts. And those screencasts came from, this took me 45 minutes to learn. I can make a 3-minute screencast right now and upload it in 10 minutes the whole time, and I can solve anyone else, if they watch the screencast and actually understand what I was saying, from making these same mistakes. So let's say I save 1,000 people 40 minutes. I've saved 40,000 minutes. I've actually, I'm saving lots of time. And if I do, say if I do double that, that's like almost a whole day of minutes. Well, probably, plus or minus, but.
Sure.
So it's more of, I actually really, I think I'm very grateful for what I've been able to do, and just trying to pay it forward mostly.
Cool. And now, how does all this relate to Dungeons and Dragons?
How does this all relate to Dungeons and Dragons? So, I'm not a D&D nerd, but I understand how it works. So, in Dungeons and Dragons, you have your intelligence score, and like the old version 2, getting kind of old, date myself. So you could have, like a high intelligence would be 18, which would be 3 die 6. But we always, and most developers, they have that high intelligence, but we always forget that other score, which is the wisdom. And that wisdom, you can't learn wisdom. I can't teach you wisdom. But what I can do is teach you to be able to anticipate things that are going to come. And whenever you learn how to deal with and actually process those things that are come, your wisdom score starts increasing. So then what you're trying to do is make your wisdom score go up to 18. And that's what I think one thing that we as developers tend to neglect. We're smart, but we always think that we are smart enough that what we say is smart and what we do is smart, but not realizing that there are smarter ways and other smart ways to do the things that we do during the day.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.